Been a part of so many great series, but I think Prison Break is one of those ones that people just immediately recognize you from. It's a show that had such a great success all around the world. I mean, what do you think it was that people just responded to so much about the series?
I think first of all, anytime you write a really good story, anytime somebody sits down or a group of people sit down and tell a good yarn, you're automatically going to get people to turn away from reality television. And when Prison Break came out, that was definitely a time when people were saying, I'm so tired of reality television. And now, I'm not knocking reality TV, even though it kicks actors out of jobs. It's fun, it's fluff. But most times there's nothing like good old-fashioned, whodunit and how do I get out of it kind of story. And I think that's one big part of it. I think there was a lot of eye candy in the show, whether it was the good guys or the bad guys. Conflict was definitely a strong thing of that show. I use it as a role model for a lot of things now when I read a script. Say, is the tension there? Is the conflict there? To keep it moving forward, always compelling for the audience to go, are they gonna, can we figure it out? Can we escape? Is you always want to cheer on the hero. And Wentworth was a great hero in the show. And lastly, I think there's something sort of beautiful about the metaphor of prison and breaking out of prison, and that's a worldwide theme, not just America. I think early on, based on letters that I got, people hated T-Bag. They almost wanted him dead. I mean, they just didn't want him dead because they wanted to sort of watch what was happening. It's like T-Bag was kind of like watching a train wreck about to happen. And then I think it grew into, I feel for this person. There was a lot of empathy for him. You wouldn't want to invite him over for dinner, but you still, your heart went out to him. And it's amazing that after all the carnage that he created, that people could actually, feel for him. And it's amazing to me that as a man, you're taught by your parents to be a good boy, and when you date a woman, the women generally like the good boys, and then when you get a little bit older, you realize, women like the bad boys as well, and I got some pretty crazy fan mail from women about how much they adored T-Bag. I thought, really, you're getting turned on by this kind of ruthless killer kind of guy? Oh, he didn't mean to kill. He had to kill in the end. But still, I think there's some primal, instinctual thing going on there that is. T-Bag for me was a great character to play because I'm a good boy. I was brought up by parents who taught me right and wrong. Some people unfortunately grow up and they have lousy parents and they have trouble getting their lives back on track. And T-Bag was one of those characters that whatever he felt, whatever he said, just came from his gut. And you gotta sometimes respect people like that because they just say what they feel, and they get away with it, and they don't give a damn if they don't. So many moments. Or also, I was going to say, there's so many funny moments that T-Bag had. He had a great sense of humor. I have it on my reel. I love the moment in the scene with Peter Stormare where T-Bag's writhing on the table, crying, saying, "Please, I'll be anything you want. I promise I won't go on the escape. I'll stay here." And John was his character's name, Peter's character. He says, "Swear in Jesus Christ's name. Swear, swear, swear." And I say, "I swear, I swear, I swear, I swear, I swear, I swear." And Peter starts to walk away, and T-Bag reaches down and pulls a razor blade out of his sock and looks up at John and says, "John, actually about Jesus." And Peter turns around and goes right across the neck, and T-Bag says, "Say hi to him for me, will you?" Because he's not. It's just little sweet one-liners like that. Another one was I had a line like, I walk into the room and all the guys are standing around like trying to figure out how we're going to escape. And T-Bag says, "What's that smell?" "It smells a little like conspiracy." I have so much respect for writers because they don't have to spend hours and hours and hours coming up with stuff like that. It just kind of pours out of there.
I'd say, obviously, there really was a bit of a switch, I think, when people went from early on in the show just out and out hating the character to sort of embracing him and sort of almost rooting for him. Do you think you could define the point at which you felt that kind of, you really felt that was starting to turn around? Was there a particular arc or a particular episode that really you felt that's when people started?
I think it was around episodes, I think it was 6, at least for a brief moment. In episode 6, I believe, that it was what we called the flashback episode, where you see the past lives of these guys right up to where they were in prison in the first season, and you saw his love for Mrs. Hollander, and you saw him not being just a one-dimensional, typical bad guy in prison, but a guy who was really trying to go straight, keep it on the up and up, and of course, he's a tainted, stained individual, so he's never going to be able to totally get it right. But you're not going to stop rooting for him. People always say, "What's your favorite part?" And I say the next one. And the next one for me is a beauty of a show by Frank Darabont, who created The Walking Dead. He also wrote and directed Shawshank Redemption years ago. It's called Mob City. It premieres in the States on December 4th on TNT. 1940s gangsters versus cops in LA, and it's great to put on the suit. It's great to use Frank's words, and it smells like a big hit, and we'll see.
Where do you fit into that? Can you tell us anything about? Are you a goodie or a baddie?
I play a guy who takes care of his family. My character's name is Sid Rothman. He's a fictitious character. He's a conglomeration, basically, of different characters. The great thing about it is that Frank had so much freedom to write for this guy. He's best friends with Ben Siegel, Bugsy Siegel, Mickey Cohen, Meyer Lansky, and he's whoever Frank wanted him to be. And I was just the mouthpiece for that. I got to do some of the I mean, I thought Teabag was kind of out there. I do some crazy stuff as Sid Rothman. Sid Rothman is kind of a guy that's like he's the go-to guy when you need something done. Ben Siegel can't do it. Mickey Cohen can't do it. Let's get our crazy friend Sid Rothman to do it. So it's a lot of fun. You'll see. It's a beautiful show. It's hard to say that we haven't seen anything from that period before. Godfather 1 and 2 are my favorite films. There's Boardwalk Empire. There's been several films made about gangsters and mobs. I think there's something romantic about it in that era that we'll never get tired of telling those stories. This one is very specifically about a couple of incidences that happened that could possibly bring down the family, and it's all we can do to take care of that family and make sure it survives. And you're going, well, wait, these people kill people. Why are we rooting for this? In much the same way like Teabag, why are you rooting for the bad guy? I can't quite explain the psyche of why we cheer for that, but maybe. Yeah, I mean, they say great one-liners, but there's something that, you know, they're bad people, and they're romanticized in a way, and you kind of feel like, okay, I don't really want to be that guy, but I don't mind watching somebody like that to see how they get through life, walking that tightrope, or, you know, being angels flying above us that are doing things that they, not I, have the courage to do. That's fascinating to watch, I think. I would just like to say thank you so much for loving the show, and for, as I'm experiencing here in Milton Keynes right now, realizing that Teabag lives and that Prison Break lives, and it was great filmmaking, and it'll go on, and thank you for supporting me in all the future shows that I do, because none of us are the sum total of the characters we play. We are people, and meeting people like this here one-on-one just always proves to me that, you know, I love what I do, and I love that it resonates for people, and I appreciate it very much.